How's it going, everyone? It's me, it's Jinsula. I hope you're having a good day, and welcome to today's Pokemon Go video. Okay, so today I wanted to put a spotlight on both Regidrago and Regieleki. Both of these Pokemon debuted into Pokemon Go through Elite Raids this year, and a lot of players have been wondering if they are even any good. That's what I'm going to be talking about in today's video, so let's roll the intro and get right into it. Okay, today we're going to be talking about Regidrago and Regieleki. So, there's been a lot of controversy regarding these two Pokemon, mainly because they were exclusively in Elite Raids. And a lot of people were frustrated at not getting these Pokemon, considering all the hoops you have to jump through in order to get them through Elite Raids. And, well, I wanted to talk about whether or not they are even good in the first place, because if they are not relevant in Pokemon Go, then that can help curb some of those frustrations that players might be feeling for missing out on these specific Pokemon. If you were planning to use either of these Pokemon, maybe this video will be helpful for you, because I'm going to be going over each of these Pokemon in detail, as well as where they could actually be useful. Let's start off with Regidrago. This legendary Pokemon is a pure Dragon type, which means it's going to have a weakness against other Dragon types, Fairy types, and Ice types. It has a resistance to Electric, Fire, Grass, and Water, which is going to be really useful if you're using this Pokemon in PvP. Regidrago is weather boosted by just one weather type, and that is of course Windy Weather. Of course, that's only going to be relevant if you're going to use Regidrago in raid battles, which I do not suggest you do, and I'll get into that later. This Pokemon has a very interesting stat line. It has a base attack stat of 202, a base defense stat of 101, and a base stamina stat of 400. These stats are very reminiscent of Guzzlord, which is another Dragon type that is available in the game. In terms of Regidrago's attacks, it can come with the fast attack Bite, and that's pretty much it. It doesn't come with a Dragon type fast attack, which is really going to hurt it in terms of raid DPS. In terms of its charge attacks, it can come with Hyper Beam, Outrage, and Dragon Pulse. Outrage is definitely the best move that you can have on Regidrago, regardless of PvE or PvP, but in terms of the lack of a Dragon type fast move, yeah, that's going to make this Pokemon extremely weak compared to other Dragon types. Now, in terms of Regidrago's Rank 1 IVs, you will want one that is 0, 15, and 14 for the Great League, and 0, 14, and 15 for the Ultra League. Now, let's talk about whether or not this Pokemon is useful. Basically, it's not. In terms of raid DPS, it is going to fall very short compared to other Dragon types, and that's mainly because it lacks a really good attack stat, and it doesn't come with a Dragon type fast move. That means you're going to deal very minimal Dragon type damage, especially if you compare it to other Dragon types that are currently available, like Rayquaza, Salamence, and even Dragonite. Now, in terms of PvP, the situation doesn't get any better. The lack of a really good fast attack and charge attack combination is what's going to prevent this Pokemon from ever being relevant in any of the leagues. Even in Specialty Cups, you're going to find yourself using other Pokemon that are just going to be that much better. It really is a shame because Regidrago does have some potential in the Go Battle League, but it doesn't have a good enough moveset that will actually make it relevant. So yeah, in terms of how useful this Pokemon is, it is an absolute bust. So if you didn't end up getting one through Elite Raids, you don't necessarily have to worry about it from a gameplay point of view. Alright, next, let's move on to Regieleki, because this Pokemon is just a little bit more interesting than Regidrago, but unfortunately, it suffers a lot of the same problems. It is a pure electric type legendary Pokemon, which means it's only going to be weak against ground types. It also has resistances to other electric types, flying types, and steel types. And it's only going to be weather boosted by rainy weather, which is only going to be relevant if you're going to be using this Pokemon in PvE. Regieleki has a base attack stat of 250, a base defense stat of 125, and a base stamina stat of 190. Immediately, you can tell that this is going to be really useful for PvP, and when it comes to raid battles, there might be some potential there as well. In terms of the moves that Regieleki can come with, it has the fast attacks Lock-On and Thunder Shock, and the charge attacks Hyper Beam, Thunder, and Zap Cannon. Immediately, you should notice that this Pokemon has Lock-On, which is considered one of the most overpowered fast moves for the Go Battle League. And then in terms of its charge attacks, it does have Zap Cannon, which is an absolute menace of a move for the Go Battle League. Speaking of which, if you want a rank 1 IV of Regieleki for the Go Battle League, you will want one that is 0, 13, and 15 for the Great League, and 0, 15, and 13 for the Ultra League. In terms of raid battles, Regieleki might actually be able to hold its own as an electric type attacker. It does come with an electric type fast attack, and it does have some passable charge attacks that deal electric type damage. However, you should know that electric types are pretty bloated right now when it comes to raid attackers. There's just so many good options out there for electric type raid damage, and I would say Regieleki is going to get mixed in with some of the middle tier electric type attackers. It's definitely going to fall behind Pokemon like Shadow Raikou and Xurkitree and even Zekrom, so yeah, in terms of raid damage, there's going to be better options out there, but Regieleki could be a great option if you do not have some of the top tier attackers. But in terms of the Go Battle League, Regieleki is going to be quite disappointing. Even though it comes with Lock-On, which is one of the most overpowered fast attacks in the game, its only options for its charge attacks are Hyper Beam, Thunder, and Zap Cannon. Zap Cannon is going to be good, no doubt, but it doesn't really have that much type coverage, which means it's going to suffer quite a bit in certain leagues where you're going to see a lot of ground types. So yeah, overall, I would say when it comes to Regieleki, it's going to be a middle tier raid attacker, but in terms of PvP, it's going to lack a lot of that type coverage to actually make it useful. There's always going to be better options out there with Lock-On and Zap Cannon, most notably with Registeel. That is a Pokemon that is an upgrade to Regieleki in just about every single way. Alright, so there you have it. These were the details regarding Regidrago and Regieleki. Personally, I am really disappointed with both of these Pokemon. I think they look really cool and they have a really cool theme behind them, but unfortunately, they are extremely weak and extremely useless. So hopefully Niantic will be able to give them better moves in the future, especially with Regieleki, because both of these Pokemon do have some kind of potential. They just lack a really good moveset that will actually make them relevant. But in any case, yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Let me know your thoughts regarding both of these Pokemon down below in the comments. Are you using either of them? Let me know why, and let's have a great discussion. And if you ended up enjoying this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if it's your first time here. And don't forget that little bell so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. And I want to give a quick shout out to my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support my channel in any way, big or small, then be sure to check out the links in the description below. For all my patrons, they get a permanent spot on my in-game friends list. So if you want to interact with me in some way, like with remote raids, then do consider joining me on Patreon. But yeah, that's going to be it. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you all later.